In 2010, something changed more than 1,000 miles beneath the Pacific Ocean. Scientists didn't see it happen. They couldn't hear it, and no instrument could physically reach it. But years later, satellites orbiting hundreds of miles above Earth revealed that a massive system deep inside our planet had suddenly changed direction. For years, it had been moving one way. Then, it reversed. And scientists still don't know exactly why. Even stranger, the timing may coincide with mysterious changes happening even deeper inside the planet. So, what exactly happened beneath the Pacific? How did scientists detect it from space? And could it affect Earth's magnetic field? To answer that, we have to investigate one of the most inaccessible places in the known universe: the world beneath our feet. For nearly 3 decades, scientists had been quietly collecting data about Earth's magnetic field. Some measurements came from observatories on the ground. Others came from satellites orbiting high above the planet. And when researchers analyzed this enormous collection of data, they noticed something strange. Deep beneath the equatorial Pacific Ocean, near the boundary between Earth's mantle and core, a massive flow of molten, iron-rich material had been moving slowly toward the west. Then, around 2010, something changed. The flow reversed direction. Instead of continuing westward, it began moving strongly toward the east. Now, that might not sound dramatic, but to scientists studying Earth's interior, this was a major surprise. These massive flows of liquid metal were expected to change gradually over long periods of time. But this one changed direction much faster than expected. Earth's core may be far more dynamic and far less predictable than scientists once believed. But before we can understand why this matters, we need to understand what was actually moving. Because beneath our feet is something that sounds almost like science fiction. Travel down through Earth's crust, and you eventually reach the mantle. Go even deeper, nearly 2,000 miles beneath the surface, and you reach the outer core. And the outer core is unlike anything humans have ever directly explored. It is an enormous ocean of superheated liquid metal, mostly iron. At the center of that ocean sits Earth's solid inner core. Imagine a solid metallic sphere surrounded by a constantly moving ocean of molten iron. That liquid metal is heated from below, cooled from above, and influenced by Earth's rotation. As a result, it is constantly moving, twisting, circulating, and forming enormous currents deep inside the planet. But this movement does something extraordinary. It creates one of the most important forces protecting life on Earth: our magnetic field. The movement of electrically conductive liquid metal inside the outer core acts like a gigantic natural generator. Scientists call this process the geodynamo, and it produces Earth's magnetic field, an invisible shield extending far into space. This magnetic field helps protect our planet from charged particles streaming from the sun. But there's something important about this shield. It isn't perfectly stable. Earth's magnetic field is constantly changing, and those changes can reveal clues about what's happening thousands of miles beneath the surface. Scientists can't travel to Earth's core. They can't drill into it. They can't place cameras inside it. But the moving metal leaves behind a kind of fingerprint, changes in the magnetic field. And scientists have learned how to read those fingerprints. Which brings us to perhaps the most fascinating part of this discovery. The reversal was detected from space. No spacecraft can see through thousands of miles of solid rock, but it doesn't have to. Scientists studied nearly 30 years of magnetic measurements collected between 1997 and 2025. Some of the most important data came from satellites, including the European Space Agency's SWARM mission. SWARM consists of 3 satellites carrying extremely sensitive instruments called magnetometers. As these satellites orbit Earth, they measure tiny variations in the planet's magnetic field. But there's a problem. Earth's magnetic environment is incredibly complicated. Not every magnetic signal comes from the core. Some come from the crust. Others come from the oceans, the ionosphere, and the magnetosphere. So scientists had to carefully separate these different signals. Once scientists isolated the magnetic changes coming from deep inside Earth, they could begin reconstructing the movement of molten metal near the boundary between the core and mantle. It's almost like performing an MRI scan of Earth, except the patient is an entire planet. The satellites weren't actually looking through Earth. Instead, they were detecting something the moving metal couldn't hide: its effect on the magnetic field. That's how scientists discovered that the massive flow beneath the Pacific had reversed direction. But discovering the reversal created an even bigger mystery. What caused it? At first, the explanation might seem simple. Earth's outer core is chaotic. Molten metal is constantly moving, so perhaps the reversal was just a random fluctuation. And that is one possibility. But scientists are considering several others. The reversal could be temporary. It could be part of a repeating cycle that researchers haven't observed long enough to understand. Or it could represent a longer-lasting change in the circulation of Earth's outer core. Right now, scientists simply don't know. But then researchers noticed something even stranger. The timing of the powerful eastward flow appeared to coincide with changes scientists had observed in the behavior of Earth's solid inner core. And that raises a fascinating possibility. Could these two events somehow be connected? Could changes in the solid inner core influence the enormous ocean of molten metal surrounding it? Or could both changes be caused by something else happening deep inside the planet? Scientists don't yet have the answer. But if the two events are connected, it could reveal that Earth's deepest layers interact in ways we still don't fully understand. And then, the story changed again. After reversing around 2010, the flow beneath the Pacific continued moving strongly toward the east. But according to the research model, something else began happening after 2020. The eastward flow started weakening. And once again, scientists don't know exactly what will happen next. Maybe the reversal was temporary. Maybe the flow will eventually switch direction again. Or perhaps we're witnessing part of a much larger cycle that takes decades or even centuries to complete. The problem is that scientists have only been collecting detailed satellite measurements for a tiny fraction of Earth's history. Our planet is about 4.5 billion years old. We've been carefully observing these processes for only a few decades. It's like watching half a second of a 2-hour movie and trying to understand the entire plot. But there's another question we need to address. Because whenever people hear about a reversal inside Earth's core, one possibility immediately comes to mind. Does this mean Earth's magnetic poles are about to reverse? The answer is important. No evidence from this discovery suggests that a magnetic pole reversal is imminent. What scientists discovered beneath the Pacific is a regional reversal in the movement of liquid metal inside the outer core. That is not the same thing as Earth's entire magnetic field reversing. These are two very different processes. Earth's magnetic poles have reversed many times throughout geological history, but this discovery does not mean another global reversal is about to happen, and it certainly doesn't mean some kind of apocalypse is approaching. Still, that doesn't make the discovery unimportant. Changes in the outer core are directly connected to the magnetic field surrounding our planet, and the better we understand those changes, the better we understand the invisible system protecting Earth. So, is any of this dangerous? Based on what scientists currently know, no. These processes are happening thousands of miles beneath the surface and pose no direct threat to people. But understanding them still matters. Earth's magnetic field plays an important role in satellite operations, navigation, and our interactions with space weather. And every new discovery helps scientists understand the gigantic natural engine operating deep inside our planet. An engine we depend on, but still don't fully understand. Scientists still don't know whether the Pacific reversal was a temporary fluctuation, part of a repeating cycle, or the beginning of a much longer change deep inside Earth. What they do know is that the planet beneath our feet is far more dynamic than we once believed. An ocean of molten metal is constantly moving thousands of miles underground, creating our magnetic field, interacting with Earth's deepest layers, and occasionally doing something scientists never expected. Satellites are still watching. The flow is still changing. And perhaps the most fascinating question is no longer why it reversed, but what will it do next? If you enjoy exploring the mysteries of science, space, and our planet, subscribe to the channel. Because sometimes the greatest unexplored worlds aren't hiding in distant galaxies. They're directly beneath our feet.